Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Nintendo finally did it. Pokemon Legends of Arceus is here. Wait, is it Arceus? Or is it Arceus? 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 They finally gave us a new Pokemon game that feels new. How, you ask? By combining it with Breath of the Wild, of course, a game that came out 5 years ago. All jokes aside, this is a good game. Some of you might not know this, but I'm a sucker for Pokemon. I put in about 200 to 500 hours with every new entry, so it's safe to say that my totally unbiased opinion carries a bit of weight to it. If you're looking for my recommendation of whether or not you should buy it, you probably should. Pokemon Legends of Arceus makes you feel like you're living in a world of Pokemon and not just some 10-year-old professional dogfighter. It's the Pokemon game that most people have been begging for. However, I am clearly not most people. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the game. I've already watched the end credits roll and I'm working on the post-game content now, but I wouldn't want this exact formula to take over the mainline games. There's tons of positives here to keep for sure: gathering materials, crafting items, side quests, somewhat immersive story, the vast overworld, sneaking up on Pokemon to catch them, being able to swap out moves instead of having to stockpile heart scales, etc., etc. There's just a couple things I can't really get behind, and no, I am not going to be talking about the graphics. The first one is not really a surprise: the lack of Pokemon. I get why they did it, because of the changes they did to the Pokedex, and completing it with all the Pokemon that currently exist would be a nightmare, but at this point we've had Let's Go, Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and we still don't have all the Pokemon in a singular game. Seriously, what's this about? We had it back in the 3DS days, and the Switch is a more capable system. Plus, Pokemon is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. They got money, so what gives? The White Knights are going to be in the comment section talking about it's just a spin-off game. And they're right, but it's my video, and this is a valid reason why I said I don't want this exact formula carrying over to Gen 9. Moving on to my main issue with this game, the battle system. People that only play Pokemon for the single-player experience, the people that put down the game for good after they beat the Elite Four, they're going to love this new system. In fact, they're going to say it has more depth than the previous system. On the surface level, it seems like that's the case, but it's definitely not. Once you dive down into it, the battle system is very simplified compared to the mainline games, which is weird that the older games got a lot of critique for having an easy battle system, yet this one gets praised? Go figure. Let me explain. In the older games, there were tons of moves that created depth within the turn-based combat. You had your switch moves like Volt Switch and U-Turn, where your Pokemon would switch itself with a teammate after the attack. There were entry hazards like Stealth Rocks and Spikes that would damage Pokemon when they entered the battlefield, hazard removals, which are self-explanatory, weather moves that would change the weather and buff certain types of attacks while weakening others, and they'd also trigger certain Pokemon abilities, priority moves, which were kind of weak but were guaranteed to strike first, Trick Room, which would make the slowest Pokemon attack first, Protect and Detect, which would make your Pokemon invulnerable for a turn, and tons of other things that I'm not even mentioning. And that's not even getting into the Pokemon abilities or the hold items. Most people never noticed or appreciated the depth of the old battle system because most people slap on 4 attacking moves to their Pokemon and go Unga Bunga. These mechanics aren't out there in the player's face, and most people are not going to go out of their way to find these things. Pokemon Legends of Arceus got most of these things and revamped the rest. The game has 180 moves in total. For comparison's sake, there were 850 Pokemon moves before the release of Legends Arceus. Also, some of those 180 moves are new attacks, so yeah, it doesn't take a math whiz to see that hundreds of attacks were just cut out entirely, and ironically enough, I think cut might be one of them. Now, I did say, on the surface level, the battles appear to be deeper, and that's thanks to new agile and strong styles that you can use on any attack that you've mastered. Agile moves are weaker, but increase the odds of your next turn coming out quicker, and strong moves pack more power, but your next turn comes out slower. I guess now would be a good time to mention that the speed stat is basically scrapped in favor of turn orders. An easy strategy to go for is to use the agile style for a stat boosting move, or a move that will grant you 2 turns uninterrupted, and then go for a regular or strong style attack. And that's about all the depth that the system adds, to be honest. I mean, the stat boosting moves in this game are far more generic. Instead of having something like Swords Dance, for example, increase your attack 2 stages, it just buffs both your attack and special attack. Same goes for Iron Defense, it raises both of your defenses, In the older games, Calm Mind would boost your special attack and special defense, but here it'd just be boosting everything. In Legends Arceus, honestly, most of the stat boosting or stat lowering moves lost their identity because they're all given the same generic template. They also changed the way that statuses work now, and both statuses and stat boosting moves are temporary instead of permanent, but that kind of adds to my point of this being a much more simplistic system. For someone like me that appreciated the depth that we used to have with the battle system, Pokemon abilities, and hold items, this new system feels a lot less like Pokemon and a lot more like generic turn-based RPG. The Pokemon themselves don't really feel that unique when I'm battling in this game. If I were to make up an example here, just imagine that Smash Bros. The next Smash Bros. Comes out, right? And it's a 3D fighter and there's no jumping. Like, some people would be excited for that. Some people would be like, wow, this is amazing. This is the evolution that the franchise needed. I'm loving this. And then you have people that would be sitting there like, this is ridiculous. This isn't Smash Bros. The 2D and the jumping and the aerials, like, that's all a big part of the game. And that's not to say that a new 3D Smash Bros. Would automatically be trash or bad or anything, but it just wouldn't be Smash Bros. That's kind of how I feel about Pokemon Legends of Arceus. Now, with all that being said, I understand why they did it. The battles are much faster now, and they kind of need to be because there are so many other elements contributing to the gameplay and the hours that you're going to put in that just wasn't there before. Having the old battle system with all the new changes they did would make this game insanely long, and most people just wouldn't have the patience for it. I do think there's a happy middle ground somewhere between the old games and Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I truly hope that Game Freak finds it for Gen 9. As I mentioned earlier, I'm enjoying my time with the game, and I understand that it's a spin-off, and I explained that I understand why they made the changes that I do not like, but I also feel like this needed to be pointed out. They are so close. They are so close to nailing down the ideal Pokemon formula, and I can only hope that they just nail it. They just get it right next time. But then again, what would I know? I'm just some guy on the internet.